So we are back for Chapter 9, Lesson 3, two-way tables. Two-way table, you guys, is just a way to keep track of some data, just to simplify it. Pretty easy here. Let's go ahead and take a look at problem number 1. I'm going to select my pen. Okay, so we are going to construct a two-way frequency table, and they say that this one's basic. Okay, each of 41 students was asked, do you prefer science fiction books or mystery books? Here are the results. Among the boys, 6 chose science fiction. So we're going to go over to the boys and science fiction, and we are going to choose a 6. And 13 of the boys chose mystery, so we're going to go ahead and put in a 13 right here. Okay, next line. Among the girls, 8 chose science fiction, so we're going to go ahead and put an 8 right there. And 14 chose mystery. That is a basic two-way frequency table. Okay, the one thing that I would do, you guys, is after you get your numbers, just make sure that they add up to 41. Okay, and in this case here they do. All right, problem number 2. All right, second one here, you guys, constructing a two-way table, frequency table, advanced. This is also pretty easy here, you guys. Each of 48 moviegoers was asked, what is your favorite movie type? Here are the results. So we have 11 men and 10 women that chose action. So what we're going to do is come on over to this section here. And why don't we go ahead and put men here. And let's go ahead and put women here. Okay. And then we have action and animated. So here where it says choose one, why don't we go ahead and select action. Whoops. And over here, let's go ahead and select animated. Okay, so at this point here, it's nice and easy. The only thing we need to do is just go ahead and fill in the blanks. So we've got 11 men and 10 women for the action category. So the action category is right here. So we're going to go 11 men, and below this is the women. And then 13 men liked the animated, and 14 women chose the animated. Okay, and one last thing, you guys, 48. Make sure that our numbers add up to 48. Okay, that's it for the second one. All right, looking at problem number 3, computing a percentage from a table of values. So a movie club surveyed 150 high school students. The students were asked how often they go to the movies and whether they prefer comedies or dramas. Their responses are summarized in the table below. We've got a couple of questions we need to answer. Part A says, what percentage of the students go to the movies 3 times a month or more? So these are all the students that go to the movies 3 times a month or more. And you're going to see that there's 13 and 38. So there's actually 51 students total that go 3 times a month or more. And altogether, there's 151 students that were surveyed. So we've got 51 out of 150. And if we do 51 divided by 150, that's going to give me let's see if that's going to work there, 0.34. So 0.34 gives me 34%. Okay, that one's pretty easy. Let's go ahead and do part B. And part B is asking us what percentage of the students prefer comedies. So I'm going to go over here to the comedies, and there's 47 students that like comedies here, and there's another 13 students that like comedies there. So we have 60 students altogether that like comedies. So we're going to do 60 divided by 150. And then 60 divided by 150 is just going to give me 40%, 0.40. So 0.40, and that's going to give me 40%. Okay, let's go ahead and move down to number 4. All right, this problem here, making an inference using a two-way frequency table, and we've got some data here. I'm going to go ahead and read this off, even though I know that you guys can do that yourself. So we've got a group of 125 students who are asked whether they have a curfew and whether they have chores at home. The responses are summarized in the following table. So we've got a little bit of information here. We have kids that have curfews right here. Now this would be the total of all the kids with curfews. And this would be the total of all the kids that don't have a curfew. This would be the total of the kids that have chores, and this would be the total of the kids that don't have chores. At some point, we're probably going to want to know some of those problems, or some of those numbers, okay, guys? So part A says, what percentage of the students have a curfew? So let's come on over here, and let's go ahead and add this here. So 37 and 33. Let me clean this up a little bit. So 37 and 33, that's going to give me 70. So I have 70 kids that have a curfew. Now, how many kids are there altogether? There's 125. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 70 and then divide that by 125. And then what we'll end up with is 0.56 or 56%. So for problem A, that's going to be 56%. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll take care of letter B. What percentage of the students don't have chores? So these are all the kids that don't have chores. So we're going to add 33 and 27, and that's going to give me 60. Now I have 60 out of 125, so we'll do 60 divided by 125. And that's going to give me 0.48 or 48%. Whoops. So 48% goes right there. All right, we'll clean things up a little bit and we'll take care of the next one. So letter C says, what percentage of the students who don't have chores, so we can only look at this column here, what percentage of the students who don't have chores, we don't care about these guys over here, have a curfew. So these are the kids that have a curfew, okay, with chores. So we're going to go ahead and add these up again, and this is going to be 33 plus 27, and that's going to give me 60. So 60 is the total that don't have chores. Now we want to know what percent 33 over 60 is, okay? So remember the question says, what percentage of the students don't have chores? So don't have chores, and they do have a curfew. So 33 divided by 60, that's going to give me 0.55, so that's going to give me 55%. Okay? And we'll take care of one more here. So part D, is there evidence that students who don't have chores, so we just did that, students that don't have chores was part C, and we came up with 55%. Students that don't have chores tend to have a curfew more than average. And we did that part in part A. So the percentage of students that have a curfew is 56. The percentage of students that don't have chores and have a curfew is 55. Those are pretty much the same to me. So is there evidence here? So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to say no. Doesn't appear as if there's any evidence. And that's because this part C here, the 55, is almost the exact same thing as the 56 right there. Okay, so that's it, and we got one more, and then we're going to be done with 9-3. Last one here, you guys. A sample of 278 students at a particular university was taken. The students were classified according to their major and their gender. The results are given in the contingency table below. Let's go ahead and see what they want. Among the biology majors in the sample, so let's do that first, you guys. Let's just look at the biology majors. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and just look at all the biology majors, and I can see that there's going to be 64 biology majors. So if I just add them up, I'm just going to get to 64. I'm probably going to need that 64. Okay, find the relative frequency of those who happen to be female. Well, this is going to be easy. So there's 25 females and there's 64 biology majors. So we're just going to go ahead and do 25 divided by 64. And if we do 25 divided by 64, that's going to give me 0.39 or 39%. Okay? Now, sometimes you guys are going to get questions where they might be a little bit different. So let's just make up another one. So let's say that they want us to find the male students that happen to be engineering majors. So we would find all the male students first. So let's go ahead and add up all the male students. So we'd have a 39. We'd have a 26, we'd have a 36, we'd have a 28, and we'd have a 16. So if I added up all the male students, I'd end up with 145. Now, if they want to know how many of those are engineering students, we would just do 36 divided by 145. So 36 divided by 145. So let's go ahead and do that. 36 divided by 145. So that gives me about 24.8, so about 25%. Okay, so about 25%. So is that the answer to our problem? No, we just did our problem and it was done a little bit differently. They just wanted the 25 out of the 64 total here. Okay, you guys, that's it for chapter 9-3. Good luck on your homework.